Well, they did. Yeah. So we were looking at it actually as it was going on, and we were saying that isn't what's normally been going on. So bonds move in the opposite direction of stocks. So
Are supposed to, right?
Supposed to.
Not last week or the week
been.
before. But.
Right. They had not been, and it was starting to look as if somebody or some buddies were unloading treasuries. And it would have to be like a country or, somebody who owns a lot of treasuries would have to be moving.
That's not a great thing to happen.
No, that's a horrible thing to happen. And it's exactly what's behind like a lot of the fears of trade wars and where China really has us and whatnot. Today, things kind of worked well.
And we still don't exactly know, correct? Or do we know?
We don't know.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Okay.
And the other thing about China, I mean, this was actually in my first book was about capital flows around the world. And one of the things that I did was talk to people who were in an economic war game study.
Yeah.
And it was officially done by the Department of Defense. Really fascinating. We kept losing because China can do a lot of different things. Particularly, they can sort of bleed out our treasuries. They can damage our currency and just sort of bring us to heel in a way that nobody else can. So this is something that we've seen and Washington knows about.
Right.
But what's been going on today and for the last couple of days is just sort of normal trading to the extent that being down 2% is normal.
Remind us the book title because I go to your
Shadow
book.
Market.
Shadow Market. Okay.
Yeah.
You've written a few books.
Yeah.
So.
That was my second one, and it was really more about sort of the global economy. And there was this war game. It was done by the Defense Department.
Wow.
And they had, instead of like generals walking around, they had hedge fund managers and central bankers and whatnot, basically gaming out different situations.
How much of a threat is this scenario right now?
Well, this is the scenario. So,
right.
Yeah, this is where like.
But if they do too much sell, I mean, they hold a lot.
They can't, right?
So that means if they do it and they sell, I mean, they still hold a lot, and that reduces the value.
Right, and
so meaning the incentive is not for them to sell because then it will devalue their own holdings.
And right, they can sell just enough. Well, they hold it. China's very strange. So
they hold it in different places too, right?
They can hold it in a million different places.
Yeah.
Some of which are private, some of which don't exactly track to the government. Like there's the Safe Fund, which is their big fund where things are held. They have a sovereign wealth fund as well. But then there are a lot of other entities that are investment entities that are around the government that hold this stuff.
Right.
So there are a lot of different ways you can kind of bleed it out, take the losses a little bit, but really scare the other side. And that's what's seemed to be going on last week and the week before, where it appeared as if somebody was trying to make a message to the government.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because I'm really trying to figure out, as we watch what's going on between US and China, and it's just this dangerous game back and forth of the two largest economies in the world. And what happens here, how it plays out, is going to determine a lot longer term.
Yeah, you're wondering if you put the gold bars under your bed or you bury them in the backyard.
I'm wondering, where do I go hide? But I do think about, target, like when China came back with targeted on rare earth minerals, right? Like just these strategies of saying, look what we can do. And so is it a way of them just kind of reminding everybody, and does it mean that ultimately they do need each other and they've got to figure something out? But we're going to show you how strong we are and you can show how strong you are. And we're going to do that. China
knows us better than we know them, I would say. And
interesting.
So when nobody wins a trade war, this has been told to me many, many times. It's degrees of losing.
Yeah.
And it's who can take the most pain. So when you're looking at whether we're going to win, I think it was J.D. Vance said, you can't beat us in a trade war. What he's basically saying is our people can withstand more pain than you. And if you know anything about Americans,
J.D. Vance, he's wrong.
He was wrong. Well, he can't say we can't really withstand pain like that, and China can.